Hi everyone, welcome to Next Diecast. Today I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale 1969 Plymouth Barracuda made by Yatming Road Signatures. You can find this model online today for around $35. It's also on eBay for like a little bit cheaper in different colors. I saw one listing for $22. It no longer comes in this yellow with the black stripe on the side. There's a listing on Amazon for a white version that has two hood stripes going down the hood on either side like that. And I saw a light green one on an eBay listing, and also a dark green one. This has been produced for over 20 years, so it's come in a decent amount of colors. This is actually the only budget Barracuda that you can find today. Some other brand makes a $120 version of the Barracuda. I don't know if it's the same year or what the brand is, but I just thought that this is the only option in terms of like a cheaper model of the car. And overall, it's a decent model, but there are a few flaws in it that I'll get to as I go around it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with this overview. We'll start up here with the front. The headlight detail on this model is pretty good. There are pegs in each of the lights, but on the real car, that would be where the light bulb is anyway, so it's not really a big deal. The lenses have like a nice texture to them too. The grills look a bit cheap because they're all chromed out. I wish maybe they would have painted them black or something, like in the small holes here. And it's not see-through or anything like that either. This lower bumper here is chrome and it looks fairly good. There's just a little bit of rubbing off going on in the corners. Makes it look a bit cheap, but this is an older model, so that's kind of expected. This Plymouth inscription you see here, that is painted on. And it looks pretty good. The wipers are chrome and they don't really look that realistic. I wish they were like painted black or something. Moving along to the side here. The wheels do not look that great. They're the correct overall shape and proportion and everything, but they're just totally chromed out. They don't even do like the spokes as like hollow spokes. I wish maybe they would have at least painted the insides of the spokes black so they look like they're hollow, but they just left the whole thing as chrome. And the turn signals too, they're just painted on and they look pretty fake. I wish they maybe did like separate pieces for those. Not the best work here. This striping on the side though, it is painted on, and it does have kind of like a matte texture to it. Like it's a different type of paint than the yellow. It's not like glossy or anything, and it does look really cool, especially when you look at it up close. There's a Barracuda inscription on either side of the front fender. That's also painted on and looks pretty good. Door handles are done as separate plastic pieces, and as well as the gas cap back here. The door, the fit and finish of the door isn't the best. You can see it kind of sags, which is kind of annoying because then it looks like it's like falling open when I have it out on display. The mirrors, on the other hand, are very sturdy because they're actually made of metal, so they're not going to break off anytime soon. Moving along to the back, there's just like one big tail light, which I think looks really cool on the car. There's no peg or anything to be seen there. This center part is plastic, and you can tell, which is a bit annoying because it's a different shade of yellow, but from a distance, you can't really see that. This model does feature steering. You can see the steering wheel moves with the wheels. No suspension though, but Yatming usually doesn't do suspension on their models anyway. In terms of opening features, you unfortunately don't get an opening trunk. Yatming usually doesn't do that on their models, and I wish they did, especially because you're paying almost $10 above like a Mazda, which includes all opening features. I'd say they should either make the wheels right or have the trunk open to make this model better. You do, however, get an opening hood, where they have a nicely detailed Cuda Hemi in there. The Hemi looks pretty good. They replicate it in different colors and different pieces. I don't know if the colors are true to the real engine or not, but in here they look pretty good. There's some pulleys and wiring in here, which is nicely detailed. And the cool feature is that this fan down here actually spins. I'm not too sure why they added that detail, but it's really cool. This is the only model I have that has a working engine fan in it, so that's a really like nice extra touch, I guess. The hood feels a bit loose like that when you hold it, but it closes nice and flush, which is nice to see. And the front door's open. These windows here are very sturdy. They don't move at all, and they're not loose, and they probably won't break off if you have like a kid, and if they like force it or anything. The level of detail in the interior is okay at best. You can see in the center there's like the outline of like the radio and buttons, but they aren't colored in or anything. They're just kind of there. I wish they I wish they could have maybe added a little bit more detail there, maybe like paint them silver at least. And speaking of silver, the steering wheel spokes and the shifter, I made those silver because the whole interior was kind of a dull black before, so I added the detail, as you can see here, with the steering wheel and the top of the shifter. It kind of adds to the look of the car. I don't know if it's true to real life detail or not, but it at least looks cool. Door panels look pretty good. There's not much to see on them. They kind of have like a leather pattern to them, and they also include the window winders as well. The seats look really good. They have a leather pattern to them, and when you run your finger along them, it feels like leather. And another cool feature is that they actually fold down like this. This is one of the few models I have that has like actual folding seats in it. And Yatming, they also make a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia that has folding seats, and I believe a couple other cars too. I'm not 100% sure. But then you can see the back seat easier. And it's kind of cool to see that. Like, I'll display it like this with one seat back and one seat forward. I'd say it's a really cool touch. We get a better look at the steering wheel and stuff on this side. Yeah, I don't know if it's silver in real life or not, but I just think it kind of added to the overall look of it. There are gauges behind the steering wheel, but the one's kind of sagging down, so it doesn't exactly line up with the circle outline. I wish it did, though. And the pedals are just molded into the floor. They aren't like separate pieces or anything like that. Doesn't really look that good. I may end up coloring in those silver too, so you can actually see the pedals, because right now you can't even see them. It looks like it's just a floor without pedals. So that's a bit disappointing there. Undercarriage detail, though, I would say is pretty generous for a model of this price. Instead of going all chrome, they actually made these like a gray, which looks much more realistic than just like a bright chrome. You can see the details of the Hemi engine through the front here, and you can see where the fan spins too. As I said, there's not too many Plymouth Barracuda models out there, and this is kind of like what you get in terms of a cheaper one. It's not bad, but it's not that like excellent either. But it looks awesome. Like if you have other like muscle cars in your collection, like Mustangs or like a GTO or anything like that, it really does look cool when displayed next to them. And it came in really cool colors like a purple and a green, and they look amazing, especially with this particular car. So if you find it for a decent price, I would recommend buying it. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.